Time for some Bach. It's really Christian Petzold, but we used to think it was Bach back until the 70s. They thought this was written by somebody that it's not written by. And that's something. They did figure it out eventually, though, so good on them. All right, it only took them 300 years. All right, let me put this over here on the website. The website is jollyrogerukulele.com. We're working all this week on one single piece of music. It's the Menuett Suite, both major and minor, of Bach's Petzold's. I guess it's just a Menuett, right? No, we don't need to make it fancier than that. Back in the day, it was pretty normal for classical music just to be called whatever. They didn't spend a ton of time thinking up cool names for it, which is interesting because Jonathan Dowland in the late, I think he was middle 17th century, would call his songs all sorts of crazy names, and then they got away from it. They started calling them things like Andante. Yeah, it's so boring. Pick a good name for your song. Come on, people, step it up. All right, we're posted on the website. It's working good. I've got that up. Ukulele Bach Menuett Suite. Let's go put it on Twitter while everybody gets settled in. https:// jollyrogerukulele.com. Patience. And we'll put this little guy on. I made a new little guy I'm using. I like him, so tweet. And ta-da, he's posted. There's that. And close that box out. Let's see who's made it in today. Robin is in from British Columbia. Michelle is in from Rockaway Beach, 68 and sunny there. Lynn in from New Jersey. Hi, Lynn. Vic, sound is good up in Eugene, home of the yearly Bach Festival. That's right, isn't that? I forgot about that. Never been. My family lives up in Eugene. And I spent a Christmas there one time, and it was so foggy for 8 days in a row. I lost my mind, and I have really resisted saying yes to going back there for years. We've been back a couple of times, but not for very long. I'll have to come up for the Bach Festival. That'd be fun. Ronnie in 90 degrees down in New Mexico. Aloha to you. Sandy, just got my baritone ordered. Oh, really, Sandy? How exciting. I didn't know you were doing that. That's very exciting. Did I know you were doing that? I don't think I knew that. Maybe I did. That's so exciting. Very, very cool. I always wish that it made sense for you guys to be able to order music instruments from me and me to send it to you. But when you factor in shipping, it doesn't make any sense at all. So you're best off, going through your local channels to get a hold of your instruments. Baritone ukuleles are not particularly popular, so they take a little extra work to chase them down. But we are in the process of changing that, right? One of the things I was delighted today, I am doing some work chasing down lute music for this and that. We're going to be doing some classical stuff in the spring, and lute it fits right into that kind of feeling. And there's a guy that's been doing a ton of work with lute music on baritone. Makes sense because the early lute music was written on 4 strings. So he's using a baritone ukulele to create these lute things. And it's interesting because lutes, generally speaking, don't sound that great because their construction is really weird. And a baritone ukulele sounds much better than a lute in general. It's not historically accurate, but you sure do get a nice sound out of it. All right, so there's that. Glad you're doing that. Janice is in. Hey, Janice. Cloudy and clearing in Sydney. Good to see you again. And Jacqueline is here. She's local. We have about 75 degrees outside. Kind of cloudy, a little smoky. Might get some rain here this afternoon, hoping. And Nancy in from, Sandy says your little music store. Good. That's exciting. That's the best thing, right? Go to a little music shop there in your town if you can, and ask them to order you one from one of their vendors, and that's probably the best. That's the best way to go ahead and get one. Like I say, once you factor in shipping, it doesn't make any sense to buy them from me. Nancy is excited. She's got another baritone compatriot or the garage band. Sandy, be a little aware. Nancy's a hardcore rocker, so you want to, you need to think about when you say yes to her, what that's going to mean. All right, let me go grab Menuett Suite. L. Menuett Suite Solo Complete. All right, so yesterday we did page 1. We're going to do page 2, page 3, page 4 this week, and then Monday we'll do the whole entire song. Okay, so Monday will be the day. That's your deadline. That's your concert date, is Monday, to have this whole thing in your head. Okay, so let's go on to page 2, which is measure 18. And the nice part is we're still in the major key. We're still in G major, so this is going to feel a whole lot like page 1. Okay, so we should be in good shape. 77 and overcast in Florida. Ooh, Nancy, that's cold weather for you. Pam, nice day up in Connecticut. Yay, you've been needing a nice one. And Robin trying to decide on what's the next. A baritone, a banjolele, or a U-bass. Guys, in my mind, it depends on what your real goals are. I see no reason whatsoever to own a U-bass. We have a guy in our band who plays the bass, and that's it, right? And we have 80 people, so it's highly unlikely that you will need a U-bass in your life. Playing bass is really I would not put U-bass on that list. Banjolele, if you're going to play a ton of Tin Pan Alley, it's kind of fun to have a banjolele. But if you want things to sound nice and you want to have take advantage of a little bit easier playing because you've got a little bit more room on the fretboard, I think baritone's a no-brainer. I think everybody ought to have a ukulele, a tenor ukulele first, then a baritone ukulele, then a Loja ukulele, and then maybe a banjolele. So goals, need. Oh yeah, I forget who I'm talking to. Yes, you need all 3 of those, and you need all of them as soon as possible, Robin. All right. Oh, Diane's being funny. She's Bach. All right. Here we go. G chord. And I'm going to just play the tough because it's very similar to yesterday. We'll talk about the weird thing that happens here in a little bit. Okay, so start with your G chord. 1, 2, 3. 3-0-2-3. D chord. 2-0-2-2. G chord. 0-2-3-2. And then just slide back to your A chord. 2-4-0. Now make sure you use your pinky finger for that 4. Last night in guitar, I noticed we had several players sliding up, right? And that's not efficient, and it's not going to result in better tone or any of that. Use your pinky on that 4. Okay, and then now you go to measure 22, a full A chord, and then 2-4. I would probably do middle, pinky, and then you've got 5-7-9. So change positions. 5, 7, 9, and then you've got your 10 with the bar on 7. Ring finger plays the 9. Bar is already playing the 7. Now this looks nasty, but it's not that bad. You're on 7. Slide up to 9 with the bar. F shape on in front so that it's 9, 11, 9, 10, 9. Okay, and then you just take it right back off. So the key here with that one is get it on, get it clean, and then you can just drop it. Pinky on 4, slide your pinky to 5, add the bar on at 2. 2-2. Measure 26, you got your G chord, pinky up on 5. 3-2-3. 0-0-7. 3-2-3. G chord. 3-2. D chord. 3-2-3-0. D chord, but just the top 2 strings. 3, duo, G chord, pinky, 3's already down, hit the 2, G chord, 2, 3. To the top, change your strum pattern to a thumb down, go. Rest stroke. Strum. 5-7-9. Bar on 7, pinky on 10. Back to 9, back to 7. Slide your bar up, add the F chord. Add the 0, pinky on 4. Slide it to 5, add the bar. G chord with a pinky. 7s, 3, 2, 3, 5, D chord. And on Monday when we play this, that's how I'm going to ask you to play it. I'm going to ask you to play it the first time through, I'm going to ask you to pluck it, and the second time through, I'm going to ask you to use your thumb. That way you get both flavors of the piece, and it doesn't get boring for your audience. If you play it each page twice, it's going to get super boring for your audience. And so do a pluck and then a strum, pluck and then strum, pluck and then strum, pluck and then strum, all the way through the whole thing. The only time we won't do that is when we get to page 5. That's the end of the song, right? And we don't repeat page 5. So on that, we'll probably just do thumb. Or if you want to sound more baroque-y, more like a harpsichord, then you'll use your claw. At this time, lute was a big deal during Bach's time, and they would have been playing it for sure with their claw. They did initially, when lute was new, they tended to pluck it one note at a time. But by the time Bach was doing his deal, they were figuring out, hey, this is kind of a cool instrument. Let's play more than one string at once. And so they would have been using their claw picking. Okay, so let's play it one more. How are we doing on time? We're doing fine. We're going to play it one more time for ukulele. Then we'll switch to baritone. Okay, and you pick your poison. Either do your claw or your thumb, whichever you're weakest at. Do that one. Okay, 1, 2, 3. How's that sound? Does that sound pretty cool? Like, do you feel you're like, oh, I'm better than other ukulele players because I can play Baroque music on my ukulele? That's kind of what we want to do. We want to build. You don't say it out loud. You don't say it when they're in the room, but you kind of want to walk in with when you're going to your ukulele gatherings with a tiny bit of swagger, like. Yeah, I'm gonna play what we're playing here today, but I know deep down in my heart I'm a tiny bit more advanced musician than what we're gonna work on today. Go in with a little swagger. Okay. And then of course treat everybody like gold, right? You're like, oh my gosh, you're doing so good. All right, let's go grab Bach, the Menuett Suite in baritone. All right, so the pagination, I got to straighten out the pagination between these two because I want them to be the same. But so we're going to start at the bottom of page 1 on measure 18. And we got to play this well because Sandy's baritone ukulele is on the way, and we want her to feel like, gosh, I should have ordered it last week so I could be playing this now. Okay, we got to rub it in just a little bit. All right, same idea. Ukulele players, you know your D chord, you know your A chord. Your E chord is unfortunately way up, a bar chord on 4 with your pinky on 7. So again, you might think about it, if I'm going to play that E chord, I can play a D chord with a bar also, and they'll match tonality a little bit. An A chord, if you want to get really fancy, A chord bar on 4, you put an F shape in front of the bar on 4, and you've got an A chord. So that's also there. You got your D chord, G, and so that's the main chords you've got. Okay, 4-chord section. Here we go. From the top, baritone players, make this happen. We're going to pluck the first time through, then we're going to come back and we're going to strum the second time through. 1, 2, 3. Okay, go back to the measure 18 and now do your thumb. Ready? Play. Stop right there just for a moment. Take a look at that. What's happening between measures 34 and 35? Something that looks a little terrifying, right? There's this little gap, and then there's those two natural signs, and then there's a flat sign. Okay? So those of you with a tiny bit of piano in your background, you know a couple things are about to happen. Okay? You're going to know as you're leaving 34, you had two sharps before. They've now put naturals there, so that erases those two sharps. And now we're adding a flat, and it's only one flat. So your first thought is, we're probably moving into the key of the F. Or, as we really are, we're moving into the key of D minor. And on ukulele, we'll be moving into the key of G minor. This Menuett suite, when you're playing it on a ukulele, you're actually playing it in the original key. When you're on baritone, you're playing it in D and D minor, which are not the original keys, but they actually sound better. I think, but that's because I like that lower tonality. But just be mindful. We almost never talk about the standard notation other than as a tool to help you get your timing right, and for that, it's essential. But I do at least want you to have the basic understanding of, hey, well, I see that key change there. What in the heck does all that mean? You're erasing the two sharps that you've been playing in all along, and then you're replacing it with a single flat, and it's not the key of F like a lot of beginning pianists would think. You're in the key of D minor, which shares the same key signature with the key of F. And So again, not important to us as tablature players. As tablature players, you're like, I don't care what key we're in. I'm just going to play what it says. But as musicians, we have to carry a tiny bit because you'll inevitably get to somebody who's like, oh. You said the key of F. It's not the key of F. It's the key of D minor because they want to be smart, right? And they are smart, but and they but interestingly, I think when you are studying this particular instrument, how little of the standard notation is helpful for us, other than to set the timing, is really not a useful tool overall for playing this style of instrument. And for all fretted instruments are the same. Okay, guys. So remember this week, and you're absolutely entitled to peek ahead. Page 3 is quite a bit harder than pages 1 and 2, and page 4 is frankly it's pretty hard. So so don't hesitate to take a look to peek ahead at your sheet music. I don't anticipate changing anything about any of this music except for on the baritone. I'm going to paginate it so it paginates the same as the ukulele version, and I don't believe there's any other things that need to be fixed in this piece of music. So feel free to dive on ahead. Now, next half hour, we were talking yesterday about Piano Man and the lead sheet and this one section that was really hard to play. And I'm like, you're going to have to really work on it. Well, I worked on it, and I decided it wasn't playable. So I changed it quite a bit, and I went ahead and put up the full Piano Man version on the website. So come join us and let's play through Billy Joel's Piano Man on ukulele, right? It actually fits, sort of, and then of course on baritone, and so come hang out with me and let's see how many typos we can find, and I will see all of you. If you don't come there, I'll see y'all tomorrow, and let's keep moving forward. Don't let it go unnoticed that you are playing legit high level for real classical music on your ukulele or on your baritone, and it is very close. Very close. I've arranged almost nothing on this to be different than the original piece of music, and so it's frankly, it's pretty cool that you're playing at that level. So thanks for all y'all for being here. Ronnie, Diane, Robin, who's going to buy all the instruments. Pam, Nancy, Sandy, Jackie, Janice. Always good to have you. Ronnie, Vic, Lynn, did I say everybody? Michelle, I think I might have got everybody. Picking up new details every time. Isn't that exciting? That's something we don't talk about either. Several of you guys have played through this with me before, and now it's 6-9 months later. You're probably, one, playing better. Two, you're probably wiser about certain details in the piece. You're going to be able to render it in a more professional manner, and yeah, so that's exciting, Janice. I'm glad to hear that that's happening. All right, Vic, Lynn, see you guys tomorrow, or I'll see you in the next hour. Not yet, slowly. Come on, Robin, get your checkbook out. Stop being so stingy. Peace.